thing that sells this car, like, it's just a solid car, but the thing that sells it is the engine. I rented this through Turo from a gentleman here in California. I'm taking it on some back roads. So I've also taken the 2021 GT500 with the dual clutch transmission on the same road. I'm glad I actually got to find it. And I'm having just as much fun. It's the braking isn't all there, so I have to use more engine braking so the brakes don't overheat. But it is so much fun. Like, instead of spending $100,000 on a car, you can spend $20,000 and have just as fun of experience. Now my question is, am I talking to you guys or the camera?
I'm thinking that. I know you're talking to the camera. But...
Ooh, Jaguar Type R. The power delivery is so smooth. It reminds me of my R6. Night driving, unfortunately, probably in the video, the windshield in the front is tinted, which I abhor on this car, so it's difficult to see at night. But it's great visibility, great lights. Man, but it is so much fun, and the power, it is like, I don't know, like, it's hands down beats the Challengers, even the Scat Packs. And I mean, maybe the Camaros would keep up, but this thing just pulls like no other. The gearbox isn't as good as the TR6060. The clutch is light, feels good. It has a very different, it like catches at like the very end of the stroke, which is a little bit different. I'm not quite used to that. The Coyote, definitely the first couple of gens, they had some issues with those, but overall they were relatively solid engines. I think the thing that sells this car, like, there's a lot of, like, it's just a solid car, but the thing that sells it is the engine. The engine is like, so, like, every sports car should have an engine, like a dual overhead cam. And what it reminds me of, I have a Yamaha R6, and it's like going from a Harley, I mean, this is a very drastic example, so like, take it with a grain of salt. It's like going from a Harley to a dual overhead cam sport bike with like Japanese pristine tuning. It's just phenomenal. It's just awesome. So yeah, having a ton of fun. A little bit on the interior. I really like the interior of Mustang. Really small complaints is whenever the parking brake is down, it still sits a little high to where sometimes like you kind of rub on it and it hits when you're messing with the shifter. So I wish it was a little bit lower profile. Another small thing is when you're shifting hard, the lines and the seams on this thing are actually a little bit annoying and kind of dig into your hand. It's a small gripe, but like you'll notice it when you're driving. Those are like some of the main complaints. Really small. I love the visibility out of the Mustang as compared to like the Camaro. I really like the mirrors, just how the sizing on them is and the visibility. The hood is a little bit high, but I mean, it's a sports car. So these are different, how the shape of these are as compared to different other brands. But actually, if you put your finger, they're easy to find and grab, and they have a little notch, and I really like how like they feel. The turning on the headlights, not the greatest button. It feels a little like kind of low profile, hard to reach, but very small complaint. Whenever your hands are down here, it feels like these should be like 2 inches further this way. So it's a little bit hard to grab. This, I like this. They use this on different other things as far as Fords. The cruise control, the layout of all of this is a little, there's a lot of buttons on here. I actually really like how on the Dodge you have the buttons behind here for the like the volume control and other things. I prefer that a little bit just because it's a little bit easier to use and it's out of the way. But the steering wheel feels really nice. But yeah, it's pretty intuitive on this. I wish like on your gauges, it's really cool that you have air-fuel ratio, cylinder head temperature, inlet air temperature. I wish they actually showed the oil pressure. I don't know if it's just this year or what, but they don't like actually show you the oil pressure, voltage, all that good stuff. So pretty simple to use. I like the gauge cluster. The shifting lever, I like how when you pull up, you can engage reverse that way. I kind of like that. You got a little bit of space here. You've got a USB and pretty typical stuff on here. Backspace is actually pretty comfortable. Not the greatest for like longer drives though. But I have someone that's about 5'8" sitting up here and then someone that's about 5'6", and they have plenty of leg room. Complaints I have on several different cars. My C6 Corvette, this extends out and it's like, okay, well still when the sun is from here to here, this is useless. On my C6, it doesn't even extend at all. So, I mean, it's better that this extends somewhat, but I really think these should extend like all the way out here. But I guess you can always put like an aftermarket plate that you can pull out aside from that. Let's check out under the hood. Beautiful. It's a beautiful engine bay. My one complaint on these is I hate the way these things look. The small gripe. These are such massive engines though. It's one of my things I don't like about these is it takes up so much space as much as I love these engines. I like the look of this car. It's a BMW M4, I believe, that just passed me. It's going crazy fast. This thing just cannot keep up with that. The tires are the original tires, so they are dry rotted like crazy. So I really just can't push this car comfortably, especially because it's not my own. And the brakes, I haven't gotten too much on them, but they feel pretty good. A lot better, significantly better than the Charger Hemi. I took that on some back roads and it just could not keep up. Now the C7 definitely feels better on the turns, but this feels really good. Yeah, it feels like when you're into the throttle and then let off and start braking, it really transitions to hard engine braking, which helps just cool off and not use as much as your brakes. See, I much prefer the manual driving on roads like these as compared to the 10-speed, as much as the 10-speed I'm sure would be fine. A little carried away there. Man, this thing feels great on the corners. Well, I just got gapped by a Tesla. I think if I had really good tires, I could probably like keep up with them. The all-wheel drive, you just can't compete with it. You saw that. Just stupid fast.
Knowing that it's harder in the streets, I know. Luckily, I didn't have to grow there. I would only go there 'cause niggas that I know there don't know what's getting into me. I just like
You're just having this recorded in case I crash for your insurance claim. I couldn't help myself.